Prabhupada had
You are reading
left
from the screen or from you have a book with you?
from screen. Is it okay, Prabhuji? I don't have book.
Yeah. No. I'm just asking because Prabhu has to scroll up also. No? So, yes, Prabhu. Yeah, Mataji, go ahead. Prabhupada had left Vrindavan, that paragraph. Start.
Prabhupada had left Vrindavan for Delhi, Calcutta, and Mayapur on September 22nd and returned to Bombay on October 31st. With the first additional quarters ready, Mr. Sethi brought him for a tour. Prabhupada was extremely pleased with the progress. It was, he told Mr. Sethi, the duty of the spiritual master to provide accommodations for his disciples. And just
See, beautiful line, huh? See that again. The duty of the spiritual master is to provide accommodations for his disciples. How nice it is, huh? Prabhupada doesn't consider only the spiritual knowledge that is to be given. Now, that's what the Shastras tell normally, right? But if you see, even in a Gurukula, you take the example of a Gurukula, the spiritual master should have enough space in the ashram for the brahmacharis to stay. He can't just say, you come read here and go and stay wherever you want. That will not work, you know. So that's a beautiful statement and beautiful instruction. The duty of the spiritual master is to provide accommodations for his disciples. He should take care of whatever material needs also, prasadam, staying, or anything else. They have some health issues, arranging for their some medical help and whatever. Because these are all part and parcel of the thing. We cannot simply say that, oh, my job is only to give knowledge. The rest of the things you take care from somewhere else. That doesn't work. Because this disciple has come, that's how the spiritual master sees. Disciple has come with a full surrender attitude. He is not, ideally speaking, that's how a disciple is supposed to go to the spiritual master with. For whatever I have, whatever problem I may have, you are my shelter. I will not say, oh, this is not something the spiritual master need to know. We don't decide what the spiritual master needs to know. You get me? As a disciples or devotees, we don't have the uh, what is that qualification? No, not qualification. Authority. We don't deserve the authority to decide what should be told to spiritual master and what should not be told to the spiritual master. It's a very important thing to know. We surrender. Ideally speaking, there are many times whenever we used to approach our spiritual masters, he will not talk about much about our say some knowledge or something from Bhagavatam. That he will talk as and when needed. But predominantly he will be focusing on our real health, then our family, then our job, then our relations with others. These are all the things that he will first ask us. Then finally he will come, how is your chanting, how is your study and all those things. He will ask in the end. But predominantly he will ask about these things first. If somebody is doing farming, he will ask about where is the water source, does he have Goshala? And he will talk for a long time about Goshala. He had so much eagerness to develop Goshalas everywhere. Bring back our Vedic traditions. And so there are many times we would be wondering, I thought Maharaj would be talking about Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, but he was talking about all the things that which we should be expertly organizing our spiritual, material things. How you arrange for your rent if you are staying in a rented place, or if you have to pay the fees for your children, if you have to take care of, say, suppose how much is your spending for your monthly groceries and other expenses. All these things you will ask. So it's something which many times we used to also go to, say, Rajkot or Dwarka or anywhere else with Maharaj. he would always worry about our prasadam, our stay and everything, And he will ensure that even if difficulties are there, he will arrange for the nice stay for the devotees, anybody who comes. So it is very important, he would say that he has to host devotees properly. Whenever I go to any of these other places like Delhi, Bombay, Pune, whatever, wherever, they take care of everything. I just have to go. My focus has to be only on if they give some sloka or if they give some topic, what should I speak? How do I prepare for it? So these are all our Vedic tradition, basically. So it's really, when I was reading this statement, this thing is really amazing. He told Mr. Sethi the duty of the spiritual master to provide accommodations for his disciples because they are coming with full surrender. So Maharaj would always say one thing that, see, you have to be fully open with me. To the extent you are open with me, open-hearted with me, to that extent my solution will work for you. I will give the same solution to one person and another person, and I will give the same solution to you also. But it will work for that other person because he is that much more surrendered. In other words, when there is a problem, he will tell the whole problem openly, whatever is his side of mistake also and whatever is other side mistake also. Predominantly, we will not accept our mistake. Predominantly, will always say that, oh, I only did it with this condition, but they didn't understand properly. They are doing it like this, etc., etc. If you ask that other person, um, if you ask the other person, he will also tell the same thing. So who is the right and who is wrong? The spiritual master understands. So he will say that to that extent you are having faith in me, to that extent you will reveal to me. To the extent you reveal your problems to me, to that extent my solution works. If my solution has to work fully, you have to be fully open with me. You have to have full faith that whatever solution I am giving will work, and then you will follow. If you don't even have the basic this thing, if you don't even have the basic faith, then how will you implement it? This is always his point that you have faith that I will take care of you, then everything else will automatically happen. So, to that extent, the disciple should be surrendered to the spiritual master. And the spiritual master also knows that when the disciple is surrendered, the disciple doesn't have to go and tell Prabhupada, I am surrendering to you from now on. Doesn't have to. The spiritual master will know by default how much he has surrendered based on how he is behaving, how his behavioral patterns changes, Based on how the behavior pattern changes, the spiritual master will know that how much he is surrendered. So we can't cheat the spiritual master. Hmm? So that's where when the disciple is surrendered fully, then the spiritual master will provide all the accommodation and everything. Once what happened, one of my godbrother from Australia, his name is Suresh Prabhu. He was coming to Dwarka, but on the way he stopped over in Singapore. He had some programs there. I was also there, I think, I don't know, maybe 1 year before. So he was there in Singapore for a few days. He went for the market for shopping and he lost somebody took his purse off. And he didn't have any money, nothing was there. All his money, wallet was lost, so all his money was, he had zero money with him. So he came and told Maharaj that, Maharaj, this is what happened. So what are you planning to do? I booked my ticket to Dwarka, this is India, Maharaj, but I don't know how to come. Maharaj said, you come to Dwarka, we will take care of everything for you. So he had already booked the tickets. So he went there, but before going, Maharaj was in Singapore, and Maharaj is going back to Dwarka, and Prabhuji is also going up some days over there. So Maharaj gave Lakshmi to him and said that it will be needed for your expenses in India to come to Dwarka, from Bombay to Dwarka. Then after that, when he reached Dwarka, every day Maharaj would give him some Lakshmi. And then Prabhu was very embarrassed. Maharaj, I am feeling very bad getting money from you. He said, no, why? Why should the son feel ashamed of taking Lakshmi from his father? It's his duty. It's his right to get. So every day he would give some money and he said, you go buy whatever you want. And that way, Prabhuji was very fondly recalling this incident. Said Maharaj never said that. Very few times only he told about him being the spiritual master, but almost always used the word spiritual father. Uh, I'm your father. Thing. So son doesn't have to have an appointment to come to meet the father. You say. You just come in. That's all. So this kind of relationship Prabhupada is showing here. It is the duty of the Christian master to provide accommodation for his disciples. The disciples don't expect. They are so fully surrendered to Prabhupada. Whatever Prabhupada says, they are doing. Prabhupada also said that it is the duty of the spiritual master to provide accommodation for this. Just like a duty of the father to provide accommodation for the son. Same way, it's the duty of the spiritual master to provide accommodation for the disciples. Such a nice line. This one line goes deep so much. The relationship between spiritual master and the disciple is not one of predominantly on reverence, but there is also Vatsalya Bhav involved in it. The father son kind of thing should be there. So it is something which is very much required because living entities are suffering. And especially in the current situation, one of the things that we see commonly everywhere is that people are hankering for love and people are not able to show their love properly. In what way? They don't know how to express their love. And as a result, everybody is looking for some source of genuine love. And love means without expectation. So that kind of love is very difficult to find anywhere in this world. And when you have that love without expectation, sometimes it happens even among the Vaishnavas also, among the devotees also. Without any expectation, they try to help serving. And you feel very, very blessed by such a devotee association. And we thank Krishna for giving such a nice relations, even among devotees. So it is very important it is very important to understand the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple. From this one line, it reveals so much, right? So let's continue further. Himavati Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji. And just as you are building these rooms for my disciples here at Hare Krishna land, he said, Lord Krishna is making your rooms ready in Krishna Loka.
This is the famous thing he remembered many times. Whenever he had to speak, he would always remember this thing. Please continue.
I am a sinful man, Mr. Sethi replied. How can I go to Krishna Loka? That I will see to, Prabhupada assured him. This is not your duty. I will see that you will go to Krishna Loka.
It's very interesting. I will see to it that you will go to Krishna Loka. And in this, one interesting hidden thing is coming out. Who can reveal that thing in this case, in this conversation between Sethi Prabhu and Prabhupada? Something is hidden there. Yes, Matan.
Is it that when a pure devotee desires to, that Krishna must fulfill it?
No, that is there, but that is not so much hidden. But there is a very interesting connection here. From the
we should do our seva and rest we leave it to the Guru Maharaj or the Lord.
Yes, your statements are all correct, but those are very generic. But there is something which is very hidden here, which
Sethi
we
Prabhu
discussed now.
Sethi Prabhu is very open. He's accepting.
He is very humble. Yes, but that's not very hidden. He's very humble. He is very humble, and he still feels that I'm not qualified for all this. What Prabhupada is telling about him. But there is something which is very much hidden here, which is very interesting connection, which we have discussed till now. I've given a very important hint.
Surrender, Prabhuji, you're talking about.
Surrender and all is done already. It's not
Hmm.
hidden. I'm saying it is a hidden thing. Yes, Shivam Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I mean, maybe hidden thing is there that you just do your duties and without any expectations.
That's not hidden. That's pretty easy to. It's a very open thing what you are all discussing about the surrender, doing your duty. See, just now Prabhupada is saying that it's the duty of the spiritual master to provide accommodation for his disciples. Correct? So, Sethi, Prabhupada is making sure that Sethi Prabhu's accommodation, the spiritual world will also be taken care. So, what does that mean? Prabhupada has already accepted Sethi as his disciple. Name change may or may not have happened, that is formality. But for the work, for the surrender and for the amazing service that he has done, Prabhupada has already accepted him just like he accepted Java Harrison. So we don't see that the accommodation is done only in the material world. So the spiritual master takes care of our accommodation in the spiritual world also. You got it? That's the hidden thing. Is that clear? Any doubts?
Yes,
No.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this also reminding me about this Bhakti Sati Thakur, like how he took sannyas just on print of photos by surrendering him towards.
Yeah.
So
He was
is this
so
related to that?
Yeah, you can relate that also. But what I meant to say here is everything, both in this world and in our eternal world, the spiritual master takes care of everything, all that we need in this for our devotional service. So he's saying that I will see to. What you will see to? That your building is your accommodation is being built in Krishna Loka. You ensure that okay, Krishna, when he asks something, any service that I need to do, yes, so my disciple is building this temple for you here. You please build his house there when he comes. How selfless and how compassionate is the spiritual master, we see. And that is exactly the special thing that we have in devotional service, especially when you come at parampara, in the parampara, we have that connection with the spiritual masters, and we feel our acharyas also, not only spiritual, all the acharyas, for all, eventually everybody is our Shiksha Guru. So they take care of all our needs. We just have to be grateful to them. That's one thing. So, Shivam Prabhu, I thought you had raised your hand also to ask the question. Nobody asked.
No, Prabhuji.
So, yes, Prabhu.
That is much million times higher than biological father's protection or assurance.
Yeah, yeah. Not all biological fathers are. Many of them are very kind also. In fact, Maharaj used to make a statement which is quite mind-boggling, but he tells this out of humility that in this whole world there are only two living entities to whom you can go. Whatever you might have committed, anything good or bad you have committed, you can go freely. That is only two living entities. One is your father and another is your mother. And he would tell this thing, and he'll say, even I am not that compassionate as they are. So you will always tell that you never leave your father and mother. They may look a little bit here and there, but then pretty much most of them they will express their love in different ways. But then at the bottom of their heart, they always have only love in them for the children. So he would always say that they are the only two people who will not cheat you. All others will cheat you when the time comes. I mean to say, when the situation is like that, they will cheat you. But then father and mother will never. That's one thing that he said. There are some people who are father and mothers who are very difficult and they are not of this world. They are from a different world, especially when it comes to sometimes they can be ignorant, whatever. But by and large, Maharaj was always saying that they are always very kind to us. So on their own, they will give the blessings, and especially when if you are obedient, they will be even more kind. Like that you say. So that's the point here. Even if they are not kind, no. This is one thing that which can apply to everybody. Even if somebody in this world is not kind, if you simply think that they are kind, that is good enough. We don't have to worry much about. Oh, they are kind people. That's all. That is fine. With that in our mind, we can continue peaceful seva. If I keep thinking that he is not kind, she is not kind, then why she is not kind, why he is not kind, all those things will come in my mind, and then my whole thing will stop. Good side of the mind will stop working. Okay. So let's go further. Mataji, can you read?
As we were walking with Prabhupada through the building, he said, "Every day you must lift everything off the floor and wash the floors with a wet cloth. Now that Krishna has given us such nice facilities, we must keep them very clean."
See, this when I was reading this, I was just remembering because most of the time we go to the temple for Mangalarti and we attend the Japa session also. Around the Japa session, halfway through the Japa session, almost every temple, there will be people, devotees or some workers, they will come and do the red cloth cleaning. Until date, they are following this instruction. Any temple you go to Vrindavan, you go to Bombay, you go to Pune, you go to Hyderabad, you go to this thing, Delhi, anywhere you go, that wiping with the wet cloth is a standard thing that they do. Before Guru Puja, before deity greetings, they get it done. See, in every one of our temples, you see how one statement is being followed as a standard everywhere. I know this because in most of the temples I sit and do chanting in the hall. So I will see that they will come and they will be wiping. I will sit in a place where they don't have to come and wipe. So they don't have to be disturbed and I don't have to get up, etc., etc. So that's why I've always observed this one very keen this thing that devotees do. And after the Bhagavatam class is over, also some of the temples, the seats which they put now in Soho temple, I've seen the seats which they put and the windowsills and all that. They will after the Bhagavatam class they will engage devotees to clean it with the soap and wet cloth. Every single day they will do. To that extent, Prabhupada wanted our temples to be, immaculately clean. So nice, really. Prabhupada is giving instructions to such an extent that, every small thing is given instructions. See, that's the beauty of our Acharya. Please continue, Mataji.
By then, Bhagavan had come to assume responsibilities as DBC, and one day he went to discuss the situation with Prabhupada to assess the challenges and consider his
So why Bhagavan Prabhu has come to become GBC? Kamal Krishna Maharaj just left. He was a GBC until then. He wanted to go to US and do seva there, right? So since then, they were trying different people, and Bhagavan Prabhu had come finally to take responsibilities. Let's continue.
Afterward, Prabhupada told Gargamuni the story of the thin horse. In Bengali, it is said, "Bada bada ghoda, gela rasatala, Beta ghoda bole, kata jala. There was a great, overflowing river. Many big horses tried to cross, but they were swept away by the strong current. And one lean and thin horse came and asked, "Can you tell me how much water is there?" And Prabhupada was saying that so many big GBCs had come and been swept away, and this little Bhagwan Das was asking how formidable the challenges were.
See, Prabhupada not only was giving instructions for what are to be done, he also corrects there. Then whenever there are inklings or there are symptoms of devotees becoming lax or thinking more proud about themselves, etc. So these are things which we have to carefully uh, carefully receive, carefully accept, without being judgmental to the personalities about whom Prabhupada is saying and all that. So let's continue further.
In this talk with Gargamuni, Prabhupada discussed the frailties of all his leaders in Bombay, including me. He said that I was like a traveler or a coolie at the train station who very carefully places all his belongings in a cloth but doesn't tie the cloth properly. So when he picks it up, all the things fall out. In the same way, he said, Giriraj collects profusely, but he doesn't take care to see that the money is not wasted.
Amazing statement. This is something which is very important for us also to follow. And you see how Maharaj did not tell only about others, he's telling about what Prabhupada tells about him too. That's how you should be objectively, without any prejudice. We should reveal what spiritual master is giving us. It is a very interesting thing how Prabhupada is connecting with an example. So much money is coming, but if you are not careful with the flow, there's leakage here and there. No, you don't know where the Lakshmi is going in one place, where another place it is not. It is going. There's no proper accounting. Then it becomes a very big problem. Uh, it is not a good management at all. Prabhupada personally showed even 25 paisa, he would still put it in the in his diary. So it's very important. You see, Prabhupada is giving instructions on all levels. So please continue.
And then he continued, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, perfectly imitating my loud, distinctive way of chanting.
You just leave the money and then say Hare Krishna, like that. So what Prabhupada is revealing here is that you are not proper, immaculate in your this service, but you say chanting, I will do very loudly and all that. How will it help? When you're chanting, you should make sure that when you're doing all the sadhana, you can give big classes, you can chant whatever. But end of the day, you should ensure that Krishna's Lakshmi, Krishna's property, these are not misused. That is very important, especially when you are in that position, right? When we are in that authority, we should ensure that everything is taken care of properly. Please continue.
When Gargamuni related to me what Prabhupada had said, I was astonished. Prabhupada always seemed so pure and innocent, almost childlike. I didn't imagine that he saw our weaknesses or idiosyncrasies so clearly and accurately. And I certainly never expected that if he did see them, he would discuss them with someone else. But later, upon further reflection, I considered that Prabhupada knew that Gargamuni would tell us what he had said, and therefore, in a wry, indirect, and thus gentler way, he would instruct and correct us.
This is something which spiritual master also would do many times. Certain things which we will not be able to accept. You see that we are not yet surrendered. Then he would tell the message through someone else. Maybe someone who is connected, related with some other god brothers or some other devotees. He would tell that, see, this person is doing like this. This is not correct at all. So when that devotee comes and relates to you, then it will make some more impact in us. Because some of the times what happens, familiarity breeds contempt. Spiritual masters identify that very much easily. So if he directly tells, you just take it like casually. It's okay. Prabhupada has told so many times, it doesn't matter. Like that, they will just go away. But that is not something which will be accepted or appreciated by Krishna. Krishna never lies when we take our spiritual masters for granted. That is why sometimes they tell to others, and it creates a even deeper impact, because one thing is that the message is coming through that other devotee, so it's more embarrassing. And the second thing is, uh, why did the at the time you will feel that why did the spiritual master did not tell us directly? Why is he telling through the other person? If you are not, if spiritual master is not giving you daily instruction, that is a different thing. You can easily take it. Oh, this is my counselor. This is my Shiksha Guru. Through them, he is giving. That way you can take it. But when you're day-to-day interacting with him, that's when you feel a bit more embarrassed, because every day I'm going to him. He could have given me the instruction directly. Why he is telling through someone else? So these are some of the thoughts will start coming, and it's very interesting that Maharaj is saying here. I considered that Prabhupada knew that Gargamuni would tell us what he had said, and therefore, in a right, indirect, and thus gentler way, he would instruct and correct us. So Prabhupada knew that Gargamuni will go and tell to Viraj Maharaj. That's why he is telling to him actually. It is not that he is telling for him to just keep to himself. So when the instruction comes to other source, it creates a better, deeper impact. It's very important why they are doing this. Many times I wondered why Maharaj used to do the similar thing. I used to wonder why he is doing like this. But they know. The thing is, they know all the things. As Maharaj is telling here, he is very innocent and childlike. I never thought Prabhupada would know all the things in our heart without even we revealing it. That is the beauty of spiritual master. They know everything that's happening. One, by their age and experience, their knowledge, and two, by Krishna's revelation. Krishna will reveal these things to them. So whatever they are doing, it has some proper backup, proper reason behind it. So master wants these things to be corrected. It's very, very important to understand this. We should not take it in a negative way. That why spiritual master is not telling me? Is he not trusting me? And those kind of things should not come in our mind. When it comes, then it means we are questioning spiritual master's authority. Spiritual master has the thing to tell anybody and everybody in whatever way, because they have direct connections with Krishna. Okay. Any questions, comments before we continue further?
Prabhuji, similarly, even spiritual master, if he wants to praise somebody also, he will not praise them directly. Na? He will praise them, he will tell about the good about the devotee to others. And he will not
There is no,
praise
they
them
do either
directly.
way. There are times when they do directly, there are times when they do indirectly. The times when they don't do directly is the time when they know that if I tell him, praise him in front of everybody, he will get puffed up. So in those times, he would hold back, telling them that directly, glorifying them in front of others. Because if you are in want of that, he knows that the disciple wants him to be, wants the guru to glorify him in front of everybody. That kind of a subtle sense identification will be there. He knew, he knows that. But when the disciple is such that he doesn't care for this thing, he is busy with service, then the spiritual master, if he's sure that he will not get proud by the spiritual master's public glorification, then he's free to do it. If he sees that no, he is not yet mature enough to accept this thing, he will, once I praise him, he will start controlling everybody, saying, see, Prabhupada has told me, Guru Maharaj has told me. That I am the best devotee here. You all have to be under me. Then finished. He will literally fry all the other people out and take them out of the congregation or temple. So to that extent, the spiritual master knows to what extent he is mature, etc. So accordingly, he will do that. The one thing about the spiritual master is that there is no pattern or standard on how he will do things. He may criticize in public, he may praise in private. He may praise in public, criticize in private somebody. So it all depends on time, place, person, etc. If the person is qualified enough, he feels that the qualified enough to get public criticism, he will do that. If he's saying that he's not qualified to take public for appreciation, then he will do privately. Many times devotees feel this is a standard tendency in all of us that so why is criticizing me in public and praising me in private? When he's praising me, at least somebody should know that he's praising me. Alone, if I know, what's the point? Right? Me alone knowing my appreciation, glorification, how will it work? At the best, what I can do is I can go and tell to some devotee that Prabhupada glorified me like this, Guru Maharaj glorified me like this. So that will give some brownie points over others for me. That see, spiritual master glory. Chansapati Prabhu, yes, Prabhu? Prabhu, you are yes, yes, Prabhu.
Actually, I have not listened the class properly as I was driving earlier, but I want to ask one thing which is related with the Sanatan Goswami class. Was there you said that to meet a spiritual master, we should take any kind of risk. Some point was discussed like that. As Sanatan Goswami was going to we must take any kind of risk. If we have to take the risk of even life, we should take the risk. And now, as you are saying about this spiritual master, I want to ask one thing that suppose what we feel that when we want to approach spiritual master, we feel
there is no contradiction, no, Prabhu. There is no contradiction from what Sanatan Goswami says and I mean what Prabhupada says in regard to Sanatan Goswami and what we are discussing here.
No, I am asking other thing. What I am asking my situation that I think that whether I should go approach to spiritual master or not, because we are nothing. Why to disturb in his seva in this way? We sometimes hesitate to interact with spiritual master more frequently. So is it that we should meet without any reason, and so we can go and we should meet and talk? As nowadays spiritual masters are very much surrounded by so many devotees, it becomes very difficult to interact with them. All senior devotees are around spiritual master, and we are not getting chance to meet them. And what for we should meet them, as we are not having any question. Our questions are solved by our counselor itself. So that's what I was asking. In that case, what should be done? Should we meet or not, without any reason?
No, see, the thing is, meeting the spiritual master should be independent of my questions and answers, either of. You should just go to meet the spiritual master because he's a pure devotee of Krishna. So when we hear something from them, some beautiful glorification of Krishna from their lotus mouth, that will please us. And when we just simply by seeing Vaikuntha Priya Darshanam, they say, just simply by seeing them, we are purified. Thousands of lives of our sins are eradicated by simply by seeing, taking darshan. So it is not that only when I have a problem I should go and meet the spiritual master. Anytime and every time we should. Not that if he comes to my temple or my place, I will meet. Daily you have to see his picture. Daily we have to see his audio, video, lecture, whatever. That connection with the spiritual master through his Vani and Vapu. Vapu is not only the physical form that is coming in front of us in flesh and blood. Even in a video you are seeing, that is also Vapu only. Even in a video you see the picture of our spiritual master, that is also Vapu Seva. You get it, Prabhu? So it is not only that physically I go and massage his leg, that is our hands and all, that is what is Vapu Seva. No. When you see his form, you are attracted to that form, and when with purity of you are attracted to the purity of that form, and how he smiles, how he talks to somebody, and how he speaks, and all these things when we are attracted to it, that is how we connect with them. So it is not that only when I have a problem I go and meet the spiritual master. Now I am I am not talking about the situations where mentors or counselors are there for the devotees, and they should be go and ask the spiritual master questions. The spiritual master can allow devotees to ask questions during the say lectures or some Ishta discussions, etc. He allows that time. We can go and connect if you want. But that should not be like like the setup is done so that when you have a counselor or a mentor, they are learned enough, or you have a relationship with them, so that whenever you have a question, you can ask them. Even just call over a phone call, you can ask, because you cannot approach the spiritual master that way. This arrangement is made. But that does not mean that we don't have any questions for the spiritual master at all. He can ask the questions in public when whenever there is a class or a discussions, or somewhere you meet the spiritual master and he is giving you some 5-10 minutes of time with you, right? So I've always seen one thing, that when the devotees ask questions to the spiritual master, that gives more pointed answers from him. You see, many times this perfect question, perfect answer book is there, like discussions with Prabhupada. And like that, in many classes, somebody asks questions and Prabhupada's answers are really, in a conversation, there is so much you can learn from Prabhupada as to specific questions are being asked, especially this morning walk conversations and room conversations, or whatever we should hear. They are the wonderful ways to understand what Prabhupada is giving for a specific particular question. Our spiritual masters also, they have answers, such nice revelations they give us answers to our questions. So those are very, very important to meditate on. And it need not be that only my question, only when I ask the question, I should understand, hear from the spiritual master. If someone else had asked a similar question, that also is applicable to us. Suppose if I say, Maharaj, I don't know how to manage this grahasthana. If I get a chance to talk to the spiritual master, fine, you can go and ask and you get the answer. But if the absence of such a chance, opportunity, we hear from others who had asked similar questions to the spiritual master, and the spiritual master has given the answer. Or through any of the lectures, even without a question also, there will be many lectures that will get answered. The primary thing, Sansalpati Prabhu, what I see is that our regular hearing of our spiritual master's Vani is very important. It is something where it will really establish that strong relationship between us and our spiritual master. Without hearing the day-to-day, every day, hearing the lectures or classes, not only live classes, even the old classes we should listen. Like many times when we do, we hear Maharaj lecture, Maharaj lecture, even 15, 20, 25, 30 times also we listen to the same lecture again and again. It's not one word, one time hearing. We should repeatedly hear the same lecture. That is very important. Only then some point will get registered in our mind and heart. Many times what we do is, oh, today Maharaj has given a lecture, okay, I will hear this. Tomorrow he is giving lecture here, I will hear this. So how many times we go back and hear 20, 30 years earlier what Maharaj has spoken? There, in fact, Maharaj's voice would have been even much better. I'm talking about, of course, Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Devpratap Maharaj. Now they are so much difficult to hear that. Live also we should hear, but the older lectures also we should hear. They are no way less compared to what we are hearing in live. So let me Prabhu. So our answers to our questions will be solved from anywhere and everywhere, provided we listen sincerely. It need not be that only when there is a specific topic is spoken. Any other topic also we take and it will be helpful. Vani is pure. There is no question there. So it's just that our eagerness to hear and serve the Vani every day is matter for. So questions you don't have to go to spiritual master only when you have questions. And questions need not be answered only in the current thing. You can go to any lecture of Prabhupada here, you will get an answer from there. Because these are spiritual Prabhu. They are transcendental. They are not limited by the time, space, circumstances. My Guru Maharaj had given lecture like 2002, 2003. Today is 20 years, even 90s also. So 30 years later, we are hearing them, and it's so much relevant to our situation now. So that is why our spiritual masters, no Prabhu, their Vani is transcends the time and space limitations. So we can always hear from the earlier past lectures also and current lectures also. And when we meet in person, there is a chance. Always we can go ahead and ask, not for the sake of asking, but genuinely to get an answer and implement it in our lives. Does it help, Prabhu? So there need not be any
Thank you.
hesitation. And even from those who are like our spiritual mentors or whatever, we should not have any judgmental thing also with them, that they are not giving the right way, or they are probably less thing, whatever. Just treat everybody as better than us. They are having some knowledge from their point of view. They are giving without having any judgmental attitude or prejudice. We just hear them and then leave it. If you can't implement it, just leave it. Don't think anything. Oh, this devotee is not giving me right instruction. Nothing like that. Sometimes they may be able to give, sometimes they may not be able to. It also depends on our level of convictions also. So a lot of things are involved in it. But only thing which we can control is our level of surrender and conviction. So that we can always look deeper into our thing, and we will fix it, try to fix it. Okay. Thanks for the beautiful question, Prabhupada. So who wants to take over from Hemati Mataji?
I will read, Prabhu.
Mataji, Mataji would like to read?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji, I can read.
Suresh Prabhu, let Mataji read, and then after that you take over.
Prabhuji, I don't
Yes,
have book. I'll read from the screen only.
Yeah, from the screen only you can read. Sometimes
Yes, Prabhuji.
Bhagwan.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sometimes Bhagwan would accompany me when I met important people I was cultivating to contribute to the Juhu project, and my interactions with them seemed so much smooth and easy. So smooth and easy that Bhagwan thought he could do the same thing. Finally, one day I let him speak to a wealthy Sindhi businessman, but somehow he said all the wrong things, and the gentleman became very upset and angry, and I had to intervene to pacify him.
This is something which we have to be very careful, because Virat Maharaj has spent so much time from the grassroots level that he had gone through the grind alone, and so many challenges and good things, wrong things, everything shaped him up so easily, so much nicely. So someone, nothing wrong. They may also want to do it out of eagerness or enthusiasm. But when we come at a later point, we think that, oh, we are also as qualified as the other person is, then it can be a challenge. So this is a lesson which we should take from this point which Maharaj is making here as well. Because there is always this thing in our mind that, oh, this is nothing, we can do it ourselves too. That kind of what you call that as it's overconfidence. So that will easily come to us. We have to be very careful of this.
We were reading in Sanatan Goswami past time, he was specifying the jail keeper. Whenever we are raised to an elevated position, we automatically seem to think that we are qualified for it.
That's good, very good point, Mataji. Thank you. That's a very good connection. So we have to always think that we are not qualified for these kind of positions or responsibilities. Rather, it is only by the spiritual master's mercy that we can do anything if at all possible. So sometimes what happens is as disciples, we are not ready to take the chastisements also. We are overconfident also. We have the anarthas also, but we are not willing to accept when the spiritual master chastises or our senior devotees corrects us. We are not willing to even think about it. That is a dangerous thing. So Prabhupada knew who will take direct chastisement. Like he many times chastises Kalacakra Kṛṣṇa directly. And he will accept the criticism and will continue the service. Whereas for some people, they are very soft in their heart, very brittle. So even he tells something in front of others, or even alone also, if he strongly chastises them, they will break down. So Prabhupada will adjust accordingly. Some people, they will think that they are beyond all mistakes or shortcomings. They will not even care. I can do it. Don't do it. I can do it. So what Prabhupada, I've seen Prabhupada doing it is, they will not accept criticisms also, because they say that, I know, when if at all the spiritual master criticizes them, they will say, but he does not know. Very easily they will just push it off, brush it off, saying he does not know, he's just an old man, he does not know. This is an even greater offense. So what Prabhupada had done in such cases, I mean, my observation is, those disciples also, they are sincere, they want to serve, but then this puja, pratishtha, lava, all those things, lava, that is there in the mind. We have to become very famous. So in such situations, what I've seen is that Prabhupada knew these anarthas, but they are also skilled and expert managers or whatever. So eventually they will end up hurting people or trying out people who are working with them because of their passionate mode or whatever. But what Prabhupada is so kindly done is that he has given service to such people also. Like remember Dr. Patel, when Kamal Krishna Maharaj asked Prabhupada, do you have to really put up with all this nonsense, Prabhupada? Why do you give so much freedom to him? And Prabhupada said, it is our duty to engage everybody in Krishna service. Right? So like that, Prabhupada, even though he knew that, things may not last long with this person, he still engaged such people in the service so that eventually the initial service which they did will come back to Smaranam Mukundangri Upaguhanam Punar Vihadamiche Na Rasagraho Janaha. Rasagraha Janaha. When they had captured that rasa, later at a future, at a later point, they will come to know that, oh, this is the reason why Prabhupada gave me. That when that purification happened by the force of the material energy and whatever reactions of our karma and everything, of our sins and everything, as brushed our impurities, then the reason would come very nicely. Like today, I think Divya Mataji had shared this nice pastime. Remember this Bhajan Hari Prabhu's thing. So nice it was that when somebody is saying you are personification of Radharani's mercy, you are Radharani's mercy personified. Prabhupada in a humble way says that I am Radharani's mercy contaminated. But this Prabhuji is so nice, so humble that he is saying that it may be that, or I was putting on the Prabhupada's slipper at that time. He looked down and he told me that I am the contaminated person. So probably that is what Prabhupada is implying. Such a sweet humility, because it's easy for us to brush away anything that is negative as not belonging to me or not identifiable with me. But in effect, we are imperfect in most of the things that we are doing. We have so many mistakes, so many anarthas. But the point should be that we should be serious enough to fix those anarthas or correct those anarthas. Then we will try to do anything and everything, and we will not see the criticism or chastisement coming from Prabhupada or anyone else as not meant for me or incorrect. We will always take them in a serious way. So it is ultimately at the end of the day we have to improve. It doesn't matter whether somebody will appreciate it or not. The thing is, I want it. That's all. That's the whole idea. So that's okay.
Prabhuji, in this we can also understand, no, Prabhuji, that Bhagavan Maharaj, Bhagavan Prabhu was thinking that what Giriraj Maharaj is doing is quite easy, even I can do. Generally, it is our tendency to feel like that, no? That even I can do it, but only when we actually do, we know how difficult it is.
Yeah, it comes from the heart, Here, when we have this kind of an attitude, Mataji, our meditation is more on the fruits of the activity than on doing the activity itself properly. Here, when Bhagavan Prabhu was trying to say that I can also do this, one thing is he has taken that service a bit lighter, and second thing is it's also that he thinks that, oh, I should also be able to do this. Whatever Giriraj Maharaj had done, I can also do, and I can also get the name and fame. So the results, if we focus more on the results, then we will try to jump in too fast. On the other hand, if they are more interested in the service, they will not immediately think that, hey, I can do it, I'm qualified. They will not think like that, but they will try to act as an apprentice to the other person who is already doing it, as an assistant to the other person who is already doing it. Try to serve them. In the heart, we should feel that, hey, he has done a marvelous job so far. So I may not be able to reach 100% of what he has done, at least 20-30%. If I do, I will think uh, that I am successful. So if you go with that humble attitude, then that humility will enable us to come out successful. Please say that. So here, that's what is the missing point. One is overconfidence, another is lack of confidence. And focus more on the fruits.
Shall I read, Prabhuji? Okay. Shrutakirti was skeptic. Okay.
Okay. See, this point is very nice. What Piyush Prabhu has mentioned in the chat. You are focusing on the result, fruits, but do not want to struggle to achieve that result. This is where when you are focusing too much on the fruit, then you would not want to struggle to pursue the result. But if you don't worry about the result at all, you will just enjoy the service itself, then you don't mind the struggle that goes through. You understand? So that is a very nice point. Thank you, Piyush Prabhu. Yes, Mata, you can go ahead.
Shrutakirti was skeptical about how Bhagavan would fare in Juhu. He was always dressed nicely in white silk dhoti and kurta, pressed very nicely. Shrutakirti recalled, and he told Prabhupada, "Don't worry, Prabhupada. I am going to take care of this situation here. I'll work very hard." But within a week, he didn't have the same luster anymore. Another war casualty.
This is very true, It really, I mean, it's sad to say this, but he after Prabhupada's departure, he was a very expert manager, and he managed a lot of, especially in the Europe area, he was very expert, and he brought up a lot of this yatras right from ground zero, like France and few other yatras also. He was very instrumental in bringing them. But unfortunately, after Prabhupada's departure, there was so much overconfidence that, like in a sense of taking the position of Prabhupada also. And it affected in eventual, going away from the responsibilities and the services, and that's what really happened. This is he's talking about in 74. I'm talking about maybe 7, 8 years later. So these kind of tendencies. That is why I said the third kind of people whom Prabhupada engaged knew their imperfections, but in spite of that, he engaged them so that even if they fall away, I mean, in the future, the service which they had done initially will eventually come back and help them. Like that, many devotees in the moment who really worked hard for Prabhupada. After Prabhupada's departure, one reason is they couldn't survive. They couldn't imagine a life without Prabhupada's physical thing. So they were more attached to Prabhupada's Bapu than Vani. So as a result, they went away. They literally went away from the activities in the movement. And after some years, they came back, seeing that the movement is not stopped. It is continuously growing and growing. So they came back and started doing more humbler services, and eventually they were able to purify themselves from whatever things might have done. So that is how the devotional service is the process where the service also you have to do it, and when you are committing some offenses and or whatever imperfect service and yogi, abhipakwa, etc. For that, the solution is also devotional service only. You have to continue doing it. So eventually, even if they stop and get distracted away, later they will come back. So Smaran Mukundangri, Upaguhanam Punar. Again they will do the Smaran. Oh, that time I had was an amazing time doing seva for Krishna and devotees and Guru. So Svihat Michen, they would not want to give it up. Na Rasagrahojana, who tasted. So Prabhupada wanted to give this a service, opportunity to service and taste of the service to anybody and everybody. So that if they can, those who want to continue progressing in it in this lifetime, so they can also do. Those who want to take a break and come back also, for them also it will be eventually it will, the rest of it they will not forget it. So nice. So we can continue.
Yes, Prabhuji. Almost every day, Bhagwan and I would go to the city to work on the permission for the temple. We would usually return just in time for prasad and attend the class and kirtan. Prabhupada was so concerned about the work that sometimes he would call us to the Vyasasana during the program and ask for the news. But he also wanted us to be happy in Krishna consciousness. So one evening during the program, he announced from the Vyasasana, "You must always dance in kirtan, even if you don't get the permission."
See how kind and compassionate Prabhupada is. He saw that the devotees are working so hard,
Rejected.
but still sometimes they can be rejected. Not maybe because not all rejection is because of attachment to the fruit, but the same result focusing on the fruit also can be that oh, I want to please my spiritual master. For that, I need to get this thing completed. That is accepted if it is not harmful. You see. So that's a beautiful thing that Prabhupada has seen that, and you also wanted us to be happy in Krishna consciousness. So really nice. Please continue, Mother.
The new accommodations were complete, but Prabhupada was determined not to leave Bombay until we got the NOC from the police and permission to build the temple. The fourth final volume of the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam had just been published, and Prabhupada spoke on it every night, eventually determining that the talks should be compiled into a book, which was published as Teachings of Lord Kapila, the son of Devahuti.
So this even now, if you see, there is about 10-12 days of continuous classes on the stories of devotional service, those chapters, the third canto that was the end. So Prabhupada completed that in Bombay, and he wanted to publish this as a book also, because those in concisely it gives the essence of all the science of devotional service so nicely. Gaurav Prabhu, I saw you raise your hand in between.
Just wanted to make one small point, Prabhu. I
Yes.
have personally observed this dancing in Kirtan is the best stress buster, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Anytime you feel like we can dance in Kirtan and all this anxiety will go away.
Very true, Prabhu. You know, so the Janananda Maharaj, right? he would have come there to Pune. You would have seen him. He's a Kirtan man. He's Kirtan Maharaj. And he's so particular about the standards of Kirtan also. At the same time, he's like anytime, he just spontaneously, you just take people and go for a Harinam. So what happened in Minneapolis once, a very interesting thing happened. Devotees were having a lot of problems, so we called for Ishta Goshti. And at that time, he was not Maharaj, he was Prabhu. He also came, because I'm talking about like 2001, 2025, 22, 23 years ago. So there are a lot of issues, devotees had different opinions, etc. So he came into Ishta Goshti and we were talking so much of this thing. This was not there, that was not there. This is wrong, that is wrong. Everything was talked and devotees were completely rejected. And no solution also. Somebody wanted to do something, somebody didn't want to do that, etc., etc. So Maharaj was, I was also there that time. He was quietly sitting and listening. He was only visiting Minneapolis for a week or 10 days. So we called him over and he was also there sitting and listening. And the end was very depressing because nobody found a solution. Everybody just vomited their problem and there is no solution inside. So Maharaj at the time, last towards the end, he said one thing. He said, Prabhupada said one thing. All these meetings, resolution, the resolution, no solution. So all these meetings, they are not going to solve all your problems. He said the only thing that will solve is Kirtan. Kirtan is the only thing that will solve. And then 40 devotees are there. And Maharaj was also there. And he then did a Kirtan. Okay. The same people who were complaining about each other were hugging each other and dancing. For 2 hours, we were just doing Kirtans only. And everything was solved. All the problem was solved. He said, this is the best way to solve all the problems. You just dance in the Kirtan. And initially, you will not like some person, then they will just catch hold of each other and they will dance, and then everything will be perfectly all right. So the power of dancing in the Kirtan is, you cannot undermine it. It is really very, very powerful. It is. So you don't even know that person and you can still dance with them. That can happen only in our Kirtans. Otherwise, you will see, oh, whether that person is my known person, he's from my city, my country, my language. Nothing, those things. Anybody and everybody can dance, hold each other and dance. Because I had that opportunity in all these different places where they don't even know me, I don't even know them. It's one of the best things, especially Harinam Sankirtan. So you will really enjoy the company. Because the holy name is right there in tangible form, the sound vibration form. So that binds all of us together. Krishna in the form of the holy name, it binds all of us together. So very important. Thank you.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
When the additional stories were being built on top of the existing tenement buildings, Prabhupada had instructed me to retain the white ceramic chip flooring that covered the roofs to serve as the new floors. Unfortunately, the cement in the flooring started to crumble, and in my presence, Bhagavan criticized me to Prabhupada, saying that I was so cheap that I had to put in proper.
I had not put in.
I had not put in proper flooring, and now the cement was crumbling. Prabhupada knew that I would have accepted anything he said or didn't say. Still, he admitted to Bhagavan. I told him to do that. I was impressed and heartened by Prabhupada's forthrightness and integrity.
See, very interesting, huh? Very interesting.
Yeah.
He took it upon himself. You got it? What the subtle point here?
Yeah, but he has used a cheap material for the flooring, and
yeah, but the thing is, Bhagwan Prabhu is criticizing about Viraj Maharaj.
Correct.
But what Prabhupada say is that I only told him to do that. So
okay, that means he's covering up. I only has correct. Here, right? He's covering up. Yeah.
See, but this line is very important. Prabhupada knew that I would have accepted anything he say or didn't say. Prabhupada could have easily said, yes, Giriraj is bad. He didn't do it properly. Right? But he said that, Prabhupada says that I only told him to do that. That is the way to keep quiet to the other criticizing devotee. He will not criticize anymore. He will say, okay, Prabhupada, you have told it, so that's okay. Then he can't criticize Prabhupada. Right? So this is why he said, I was impressed and heartened by Prabhupada's forthrightness and integrity. Viraj Maharaj would not have done without Prabhupada's permission. And that's why he's saying forthrightness and integrity. He said, if Prabhupada, see, this is a genuine, it may be a genuine criticism, say. Then, if Prabhupada thinks that, oh, if I tell this, then it's a criticism on me, then let me not tell him at all. If I were in that situation, I will do that now. But Prabhupada didn't do that. You got what I'm saying? If I'm telling someone to do something and another person is coming and criticizing that person for it, I will think, oh my God, thank God, he did not criticize me. So let the criticism go with him. Let me somehow or other, let me escape from this thing. You got the point, right? I didn't want to bring the politics thing here, but a situation that I read through yesterday, I was hearing through yesterday in the news I've read through, that this Delhi thing, I don't know whatever way it will pan out, but the Delhi case, that's going on, liquor gate case, whatever. I saw that. See, the deputy chief minister is in the jail for more than 1-2 years. Okay, and the chief minister is continuing on. But until that point, he didn't care about the deputy chief minister and other people from his ministry who are in the jail. The Supreme Court is not allowing them to come out. I mean, there is something they have found. So more than a year, they are sitting there in the jail. Now, the chief minister is arguing that I am not fault. I am innocent. I am innocent. He doesn't care about the others. Everybody must be. Everybody must have been together only. Must have planned whatever. If it has come out to be true, whatever, right? So if it doesn't come out, let's leave it that way. That exception, that is a different scenario. But if it is proved that this is wrong, that this is a crime, whatever, so the good leader is one who takes upon himself whatever the disciple is doing. We have proper examples in Bhagavatam also. Two beautiful examples are there. Two beautiful examples are there. One example is done by Vishnu himself. And another similar thing is by Yamaraj in the Ajamla story. See, when if you, Prabhu, you are sharing, right, Gaurav Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
If you can open Vedabase
Yes, Prabhu.
and take Bhagavatam 3:16:6. This is the best example of how a leader should behave whenever their servants or disciples, they go wrong. Huh? If you see this verse, Prabhu, it's a very, very beautiful verse, Prabhu. No. 16:6. Try one verse earlier, Prabhu. No. This same thing. Sorry, this is the correct one. Yasyamrita malayasha shravanavagahaha sadyah punati jagadashva pachadvikuntaha soham bhavadya upalabdha sutirtha kirtis chindyam svabhaham api vaha pratikula vrittim. Can you read the translation?
Anyone in the entire world, even down to the Chandala, who lives by cooking and eating the flesh of the dog, is immediately purified if it takes bath in hearing through the ear of the glorification of my name, fame, etc. Now you have realized me without doubt. Therefore, I will not hesitate to lop off my own arm if its conduct is found hostile to you.
See, this is the statement of Vishnu himself. I don't mind cutting off my hand also if it is disturbing you. To that extent, read 4 and 5 also. Previous Prabhu had nicely said that in our group also. Just go to 4 and 5 also and read it. how much Krishna is showing by his personal example. Krishna is showing by his personal example. Just read the translation.
To me, the Brahmana is the highest and most beloved personality. The disrespect shown by my attendants has actually been displayed by me because the doormen are my servitors. I take this to be an offense by myself. Therefore, I seek your forgiveness for the incident that has arisen.
See, he is telling to Kumara that please forgive me for the servant's mistake. Next one, Prabhu.
A wrong act committed by a servant leads people in general to blame his master. Just as a spot of white leprosy on any part of the body pollutes all of the skin.
See, this is beautiful example, right? Ideally, we should understand from this point that whatever the servant does, the master has to own it. Master cannot get away from the problem. He cannot say, "Oh, the servant has committed, but it's not my mistake. I had trained him properly. If he is not doing it properly, then how can I be blamed?" These are all inferior and immature with people's approach. Ideally, a servant, a master will always take ownership of the servant's mistakes. Even Yamaraj also, when Ajamila, this Yamdutas failed in their attempt, and they come and they tell Yamaraj that this problem happened. We were not able to bring this Ajamila. The Vishnu Dutas took him out, they didn't allow us to take. Then immediately Yamaraj prays to Krishna. He said, "Please forgive me for the offense that my servants had committed to your devotees. It is my mistake." These are all the perfect examples of how a leader or a master should behave. And that's exactly what Prabhupada is also doing here. Such a beautiful examples from Bhagavatam, you see. Very, very nice. Please continue the next part and then we'll stop with that. Another time. Suresh Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu.
Please continue. Another time.
Another time, Bhagavan said that Prabhupada told him that we should be so expert that when people finished dealing with us, they would tell us their friends. Those Hare Krishna people may look like fools, but they are very intelligent. Don't mess with them. There was a scarcity in Indian during that period, and many thoughts, and Prabhupada often spoke on Bhagavad Gita 3.114. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanya dhanna sambhava yajnat bhavanti parjanyo yajna
karma samudbhava.
All living bodies subsist on good grains, which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. What Krishna says is practical. He argued in one talk, Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhava. But how we shall get anna, food grains? There is no rain. You see, nowadays there is no rain. Why? Because we do not know how to get rain. Krishna says, Parjanyadanna sambhava. There will be food grains when there is a sufficient rain. And how there will be rain? Yajna bhavanti parjanya. If you perform yajna, then there will be sufficient rain. Nowadays, people may say, how to perform yajna? If it requires so much money, so much ghee, so much food grains to offer as oblations. But Krishna has made it very easy. Yajna sankirtana pradnyar yajna
Yajanti hi samedasa.
Sumedasa. The Sahasras knows, the Shastras knows that in the Kali Yuga, it will be very difficult to perform the ritualistic yajna ceremony because people will be poor, poverty stricken, where they will get ghee and they'll get grains. No, this is the yajna. No, this is the yajna. Kalau.
Kalau nastyeva, 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 that's Hiranyatha. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama.
Chant Hare Krishna. This is the yajna.
Yay. Thank you, Prabhu. We'll stop here. Beautiful way to end today's discussion. And thanks to Shiva Prabhu for initiating this. I was a bit hesitant. I love to read with you all, but a bit hesitant not to push you all for on a long weekend. We may have some plans, but then thank you all for joining today. It was always a pleasure to read this glorification of Prabhupada in the association of all of you. Thank you. And tomorrow morning, 10:30, Krishna willing, we will continue our Narad Muni's 1540. I shared those two links some time ago. Please continue to read because it's maybe the message is a bit way back in the days. Maybe somebody can repost them in the group. There are two links. One was the recent offering by Jayanti Mataji on that verse there in Maharaj quote. And another is a lecture itself by Maharaj on that same verse. Just if you can go through the transcription also, there will be a lot of nice points that will come from there, and we can discuss them also along with the other points which we have still yet to discuss from the verse and purport itself. Thank you so much, Prabhu Mataji. Thank you so much for your association. Krishna willing, take your nice time along to do more seva today, tomorrow, and all. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Srila Prabhupada. I worship the day. I will go one second to the gesture. Pass me to Bevicha, Patishanam, Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.